the point where division by 0 encounters. Okay, normally what happens, the program is terminated there itself. It is not going for further execution. So that is called as, that is one type of PHP error. So PHP documentation provides two mechanisms for handling runtime errors. Okay, during runtime errors, it can be handled in two ways. One is, normally you can just use the normal procedural error handling method, or you can go for object oriented exception handling. Okay, so using both the technique, you can write the code to handle the errors. So in procedural, we have used so many functions to check the input is entered or not. Okay, is it the given number is number or is it a string? So like that, we have used all predefined functions to check the errors. Okay, so in procedural approach to error handling, the programmer needs to explicitly test for error condition. Okay, explicitly test for error condition after performing the task that might generate an error. Okay, so example, yesterday I was explaining with an example, trying to open a file in read mode and that file is not existing. Okay, to handle such type of errors, you can use some of the functions to check the user is given proper input or not. Okay, one example for that, so that is how to use the procedural MySQL approach for accessing the database. Okay, so the syntax of that particular database was the statement whatever you are going to write now for connection from web to the database. So in such cases, if the database connection is not established, okay, so you can just write a simple procedure to indicate what was the problem, due to what reason there was an error and unable to connect to the database. So example, you can just observe your dollar connection. Okay, this is for connecting to the database. So whenever if it is getting error to connect to the database, okay, so you can just store what is the error information due to execution of this particular statement, and the same can be you can give the proper statement so that user can easily understand due to what reason the error may encounter. Okay, so to know this, like the programmer should be knowing ahead of time what code is going to generate an error condition. Yesterday we took one example. Yesterday we took one example, no? So that is to check the file is existing or not. So the programmer should be knowing what are the possible errors may encounter while running. So accordingly, they should write the code. Okay, so this is the normally if the in case if the user is trying to open a file in read mode and if it is not existing, definitely it leads to an error. Okay, so by just knowing that, you can add this part of the code. Okay, check first the file is existing or not before opening. Okay, if it is not existing, we can just give the proper error message to specify that what is the error. Okay, these are all an example of procedural error handling. Okay, so if you are using object oriented, the same thing you can just try using try catch mechanism. So here I told two approaches. One is the procedural. So procedural, you can just give the example whatever I have given, that is opening the file if it is not existing, how you are going to modify the code in such a way that the user should be able to understand due to what error the program has been terminated. So if it is object oriented exception handling, so when runtime error occurs, PHP throws an exception. Okay, so PHP throws an exception. This exception can be caught and handled by either function or class or a page that generates the exception, or by the code that can handle the function or class. Or in simple way, you can just go with the try catch mechanism to handle the errors using object oriented method. So example for that. Okay, so example for try catch, whatever the example I have given, that is the connecting database. Okay, if it leads to an error, if this connection is not, if this statement is not executed successfully, so then it should throw an exception. Okay, it should throw an exception by invoking the function. So normally you can write the code using try and catch block. Hopefully, I think everybody knows, only the syntax is different, but the concept, whatever you learn in Java programming, the same concept it is used here. So I want you people just try to do some small programs using try catch, and also finally that can also be used to handle the errors. Okay, so these are the things with respect to object oriented. So we are creating functions that are general purpose and to be used in variety of contexts that you have no control over. It might make sense through an exception. Okay, so you can just use the another method of throwing an exception using a keyword called throw exception. Okay, that is to specify new exception if you come across. In such cases, this can be used. Throw new exception, and what is the exception? That is the information you can display. Okay, so array with a value expected. So in case if it is empty array, yesterday I was explaining about empty, is set functions. Okay, so these are all predefined functions. You can just make use of this. So yesterday I think I have that example also. Yes, is set and empty. So if it is empty or if it is not numeric, then you should throw in a message using throw function. So that's what it is done here. Throw new exception indicating array with value expected. Okay, you will be getting the message that array with value is expected. In case if you are trying to pass the empty array, so you are going to get this type of error using throw. Okay, so this is for date. Okay, if it is not valid, date is passed. So in such cases also you can just make use of this throw keyword for handling the errors. So this is with respect to the previous example, the paint artist, whatever we have taken. No? So with respect to that, the date of birth is validated here. This is already discussed. So try to make use of some of these functions. Okay, log error, set error, error log. So yesterday I have shown some examples with respect to. Is it I am audible? Any doubts? Is it I am I audible? Can somebody respond? Any queries? Okay. Okay, just try to make use of these predefined functions. Yesterday we executed now, so you can just type what is the message to be displayed. Okay, so you can just pass this message to the function error log and followed by the number. Each error message there is a predefined number assigned. So 0, 1, 2, 3. I think I have shown that yesterday in the table. Error all, in case to handle any type of error you are going to use error all and the number assigned is a 0. Okay, so this is with respect to mail message. In case if the mail or whatever the address it is not specified properly, in that case you can just give the proper message or invalid email is entered, like that you can just specify with respect to the input given by the user. Okay, so this is with respect to error log, just display the message, and this email message, that is error log, you can just see it is taking different inputs. Here only two inputs it is taking, one is the message and followed by the error number. But in the second case, message, error number followed by you are sending this, you can send this error message to the mail. Okay, so this is from to this email ID you are going to send from this email ID. Okay, you can just try this, is it going to work or not. Okay, whenever if you want to share what is the error occurred, that can be made using this syntax. In case if you want to send the or add this error information to a file into the log file, you can just specify the location of the file and what is the message to be displayed. So you can just see accordingly the message number is going to be different. That indicates that it is performing different way of representing the error handling. Okay. Regular expressions. Okay, so even most of the time during normally it is not for error, but to handle the error we used to use the regular expressions. Okay, so when I use the term regular expressions, you can just remember that is for mainly used for a pattern matching. So here there are type of language that is intended for matching manipulation of text. Okay, example, if you normally you will validate the or you are going to expect the user entered email ID should have .com. Okay, at symbol.com. So those are whatever you are going to use at dot, these are all called as regular expressions, and you are going to try to match these, it is correctly entered by the user or not. Even like phone number, postal or zip code, email address, to check the validity of this information is correct or not, you're going to use the regular expressions. So here mainly there are 12 meta characters that can be used. Not 12, actually 14. So a special meta character symbol that acts as a command to the regular expression parser. So example, you can just say in the table, okay, dot, square bracket, slash, parenthesis, okay, dollar symbol, question mark, asterisk, plus. So like this, these are the different meta characters. So these 14 meta characters can be used for pattern matching. So we'll go with one example. So in PHP, regular expressions are contained within the forward slash. Okay, the regular expression should be within the forward slash. For instance, to define regular expression, you should use the following pattern, that is dollar pattern. This is the object, not object, it is a variable. Okay, and the pattern you are going to specify here is rand. Okay, so this string pattern you are going to try to match it. For that you need to represent within the forward slash. Okay, so here I have three statement. Okay, one is Randy, then show rand to the store, I would like cranberry. Okay, so now among these three I am trying to match this particular pattern. Okay, in which statement, in which sentence it is going to match. How we are going to do that? So what is the procedure need to be followed here? Okay, you need to write a simple code. So to perform the pattern check in PHP, so you can write this following code, that is a pattern. You need to specify what is the pattern to be searched. Then dollar check is equal to, you can take the statement. Okay, so this statement you just take and try to find this pattern is matching in this sentence or not. Okay, so for that you need to write the function, that is regular expression match PREG. So that is indicating a regular expression match. You are going to give two inputs. One is dollar pattern and dollar check. So dollar pattern indicates what is the string you are going to try to match, that you need to specify, and check in which statement you are going to check. So that is to be specified as a second parameter. In case if this function returns true, then you are going to get the output echo match fault. Okay, the return value of this function, if this pattern is available within this dollar check, then it returns true. Otherwise, it returns false, and you may get the it is going to the else part, and it will display the pattern match not found. Okay, so you can just see this. Just remember, this is one a predefined function that can be used for matching the pattern. Okay, so this is using PHP. Whatever I have shown here, so this is using PHP. The same thing, I think you already done, many of you executed the program also to perform the validation. Okay, so to perform the validation using JavaScript. Now this pattern matching or this error handling, it can also be done. It is not actually error handling. So here just I am taking one example that how pattern can be matched. So you can just apply this to different context, where if the specified constraint is given to a particular field, so in such cases you can just use this type of pattern matching. Same thing you can write using JavaScript. See, this exception handling or error handling can be done using JavaScript and also PHP. And whatever you're writing, that validation part or error checking part of the JavaScript, sometimes that is not enough. Okay, sometimes that is not enough. Even it requires to do that validation or exception, or it may be error handling, should be taken care even at the PHP side also, PHP code also. So this is just a similar task to be performed using JavaScript. So just store the a pattern to be matched into a variable var pattern. This is JavaScript code. You can just see I have not used any dollar symbol for declaring variables. Okay, the logic is same, but the syntax is different. So dollar if pattern dot test. Okay, this is once again a predefined condition function that can be used for checking the test. Okay, test is a predefined function. So pattern, if I tell pattern dot test, it is going to take this particular character and it is going to test this pattern is available in this given statement. Okay, in case if it finds if this particular pattern is available within this statement, then it is going to give the output, that is document dot write match found. Okay, you will be getting the output on the disk browser with match found. Otherwise, you may get match the string or the pattern is not matching is not found. So like that you are going to get the different errors can be handled using the predefined functions. Are you getting? So this is using PHP. You can just write the same set of statement in even in PHP. Normally you will do that validation process at the using JavaScript, but sometimes it can be done. It's not enough. Just doing validation at the client side, it may be not enough. It requires to do once again at the PHP side, that is at the server side using PHP. Okay, you can just observe what are the patterns we can use. So I think you are already familiar with these things, how to use the pattern matching, what are the characters you need to use. Okay, example slash, yes, indicates matches any white space character. Depending on your pattern, you can just use these predefined patterns to find is it any white space character, or to check match any digit slash d is used. If it is capital D, so that indicates non-digit. Maybe the slide is not so clear. Okay, you can just refer the textbook later. Okay, slash T indicates the tab character, slash N new line character. So question mark indicates 0 or 1 match. So like this you can use different patterns to go with the matching of a pattern in a given statement. Okay, so much of complicated patterns are given. This is with respect to regular expression. These are all patterns and regular expressions. Okay, I think you have used all these regular expressions. If you have written JavaScript code, okay, example, you can just see if you want to match the date, okay, in this format, month followed by year. Okay, for that you need to write this regular expression. So if it is a specific zip code, then correspondingly, so whatever the zip code pattern you want to represent, you can specify using the regular expression. Okay, these are all one way of like error handling. Okay, this is one method of error handling. It is not actually the errors, but before getting the error, the programmer should be knowing what are the possible errors. Accordingly, the code should be written. Okay, to indicate the proper error message to the user. Otherwise, so like the data, whatever it is entered, if it is wrong also it is accepted and it is stored in the server. At the server side, if it is validated, then it is going to throw back that error to the user. So that is going to be a lengthy procedure. Okay, so normally you have done email validation based on current standard naming rule. Okay, so hopefully everybody knows these things, regular expressions, how it can be used for validating the user input. So you may ask the question like, so validation, it is not comes under error handling, or it is not an error, but it is a type of error. Okay, it is a type of error because if the user is not providing the proper information, definitely it leads to error. So such type of error should be handled by writing a proper validation code. So user input must always be tested for validity. Okay, so the correctness of input should be checked. Like example, what are the types of validity you can just check, and how you should notify to the user. So here that can be categorized into different methods. The first one is the required information. Normally you will do this required information. You are going to check for emptiness. If the field is empty, okay, if the name is not entered or if the phone number is not entered, so correspondingly it should give the error message in case if the field is not entered or if the field is empty. Okay, that is one type of validation you will do. Then correct data type. Okay, the data type, if they ask for the phone number and if it is entered some other thing, or if it is a date and if the date is not entered in the proper format, so such things should be validated. You need to write the validation code so that this type of errors can be handled. Then correct format. The correct format indicates, example, it may be a postal code, or it may be credit card number or social security number. Okay, so it is having some standard format or the pattern rules the user should follow while entering. Okay, in case if it is not matching with the standard format, then so the programmer should give the proper error message to the user to indicate the value should be entered properly. Next, comparison. So comparison to which field normally you will do during validation. So example for password. Okay. So for password, normally you are going to use it correct format. Not correct format. That is done. That is comparison. So password. First time the user is going to enter the password, and the second time you are going to ask the user to enter the password second time. Confirm password. Okay. So that is to ensure that the values entered are correct. Okay, so there are some values it is already entered by the user. To check or to ensure that the value entered is correct or not, so you're going to ask once again one more time to enter those values. Example, the password, or it may be a credit card number when you are doing any transactions. So during that time also the account number it is going to ask for twice. So this is these type of validation, we call it as comparison. Next, range check. So range check indicates like there will be some limitation. Example, either it may be with respect to the age, or it may be with respect to the year, whatever the year detail it is entered. So there will be some range. Okay. So who can participate in that particular event? You can just specify what should be the age. Okay, accordingly the data should be validated. Next, custom. So that is some validations are more complex and requires unique particular applications. Okay, so depending on the application, so it is not necessarily whatever the validation you are doing that comes under these category. There are some situation depending on the application you need to write some custom error handling methods. Okay, so this is how you need to validate the user input, that is a part of error handling. Okay, so notifying the user, what exactly you are going to notify? So that is what should your page do when validation check fails. Okay, validation check fails, it has to perform some action in case if the expected inputs are not given. What is the next step? So how it is going to notify to the user? So the user need to be notified. How user is going to be notified? So one is by specifying what is the problem. Okay, so like what is the problem? Yesterday we have took one example, that is if file is not existing. Okay, what was the message? And if you are trying to open that file, there was some message came. Okay, fatal error indicating that document directory it is not available, and the file name it was there, line number it was there. So much of information if it is only for the simple statement. If the task to be performed or if the project is very complicated, in such cases, okay, the error encountered may be the complex one. Okay, if it is giving some paragraph of error message, the user may be not interested to read completely about what is the error occurred. Okay, for that what the programmers can do, they can give the custom error message. Okay, so due to what reason why this error is coming. Okay, so instead of getting lengthy messages, what needs to be changed? So the receiver usually clear and textual conscious message. That means you should give the comprise information about why that error is occurred. So that is what is the problem, to indicate or to notify the user. Where is the problem? Okay, where is the problem? Sometime type of error indication should be located near the field that generated the problem. Okay, so it should notify. Normally in code blocks you will get now. So in case if there is any error, you will get that red dot. Okay. Similarly, it is going to happen with respect to the user. Okay. So if they encounter, maybe you just recall any form when you are filling. If some particular input you are given, if it is not an appropriate value, in such case what happens? It is going to notify that, it is going to highlight that particular field. If you have remembered, either it will be in the form of red color, and directly the cursor goes to that particular field, and also on the top you will be getting the error message. So that is to indicate the user where exactly the error is encountered. Okay, otherwise if this technique is not there, what happens? The user once again need to check the complete form field by field. Okay, that is going to be the lengthy procedure, and sometimes the user may not able to identify the error also. Okay, for that reason, where is the problem should be identified and should be highlighted to the user with a proper message. Okay, sometimes even it is going to change the background color. If the input, if it is given, if it is not the correct one, the background color is changed, or the input field is going to highlight. So these are the things you can just do to indicate where is the problem. The next one is, if appropriate, how do I fix it? Okay, in case if it is appropriate, how do I fix it? What is the meaning of this example? Okay, so with respect to example, date. If date is not given properly, okay, the date format. So maybe if it is, if the expected YYMMDD format, okay. But if you have entered in reverse order, then it should give the appropriate message to fix that particular problem. I think there are some snapshots with respect to these things. I will just go to the textbook. Those snapshots I have not added to the. Just give me a minute. If you have any doubt, you can put the question in the chat box or unmute yourself. See, this topic is easy to understand because most of you people, you already know like online form fillings, like what are the possible errors and how it is highlighted to the, or how it is notified to the user so that the user can correct it. So the try catch thing I left to you people, you just try one program using try catch. So now I wanted to show so how the user inputs are highlighted in case if it is not the expected output. This is all with respect to regular expression. See, you can do the validation in two levels. One is using JavaScript. Okay, that is explained. There is one diagram how you can validate the location of the validation where you can do. Okay, let me just before going to this. And normally when you are filling any form or if you are doing any transaction, it will ask for CAPTCHA. Do you know what is the reason? What is the purpose of taking CAPTCHA? Yes. Normally during transaction, when you are transferring amount, it will ask for the CAPTCHA. What is the reason? When you have entered the user ID and password, that's enough. Why it is asking for CAPTCHA? That is some character or the number it is displayed that you have to enter. So what is the purpose of that? Can somebody tell? See, this is general question. If anybody knows, you just answer. Purnima, can you answer? What is the reason of entering the CAPTCHA or why it is going to ask for the CAPTCHA to enter? Purnima, N. You need to unmute yourself. Kumar Shivam. Jeet, can you answer? What is the purpose of entering the CAPTCHA? Do you know it or not? If you have done online transaction, normally it will be there. CAPTCHA should be entered to log.
Robot and human medium.
Yes, can you repeat?
To find if any robot is operating the
Yes.
system.
Okay. So
Yes,
is
ma'am.
it a human or a robot? Who is doing that operation? Because a lot of the things nowadays it is handled by the bots. To verify that is it a robot or is it a human being? So to check that, normally you are going to ask for the CAPTCHA should be entered. That is one way of handling the error. So you can just observe this diagram. So displaying error message. So in case if user is not given proper input, so that is how you need to validate those fields. So you can see that particular field is highlighted with the red color, and also you can just see the information it is giving that the value should be within this range, and also it is in the top, it is listing what are the possible error encountered and why it is not added, or whatever the operation it is specified, no, why it is not executed. So due to this reason. And also one more simple way of giving the indication to the user what data to enter, use placeholder. Okay, for input type text you can specify the placeholder indicating what is the type of data it is expecting for that particular field. Okay, when you are doing implementing any applications, you have to take care of these type of validation. Even though the browser is it is having the default validation, but you need to write explicitly if you are having a specific conditions. Okay, so this validation part is very, very important. Okay, so this is one more example indicating where an error is located. That is just highlighting that particular field. Even the color of that field is, you can just check it, it is changed to a red color. The font or that label given to that particular field is changed to red color, and also the followed by, you can see there is a placeholder. This is also one method you can indicate to the user what is the value it is expected to that particular field, and followed by you need to specify some conditions here with respect to the data or the input to be entered to this field. Okay, when you are implementing, just take care of all these possible error handling methods. Okay, so how to reduce validation errors? So you can just go with using pop-up JavaScript alert message. Okay, you can just, whenever if the entered input is not correct, it can raise an alert message, okay, pop-up message to the user to find or to correct the whatever the input it is given based on the requirement. And another method is specifying the placeholder attribute. And now itself I told. So you need to specify the placeholder. Don't just create a text box. Okay, add the attribute called placeholder, so that due to this placeholder, it will clearly tell that what is the data should be entered. Enter the painting title. Can you see here? So this is the placeholder. So whatever the project you are going to create, so just try to adopt all these conditions, add these conditions. Okay, so that's all about the PHP exception handling and error handling.